Audible? Is my voice is clear? So my voice is clear? Okay, start now. AWS Introduction and Architecture, Amazon Web Services. The Amazon Web Services provides on-demand computing service resources in the cloud with pay-as-you-go pricing. See here, the important point is on-demand. So when you require, which type of resources you require, how much capacity of resources you require, so which services you want required, immediately you can get. That is nothing but a on-demand. For example, you can
Hello.
run. Yeah, tell me, Anil Kumar.
Hey, Kaushal this side. Your voice is pretty low. Could you please just a little bit louder?
Yeah, just few seconds, it will come up.
Okay.
Now voice is high. Now voice is clear now.
Yeah, it's little better, but uh,
Yeah, but it's taking some few seconds. So I'll continue. Okay,
Still low.
seconds it will come. Now is it okay now? Is it okay? Still little low voice.
sometimes it is pretty low and sometimes looks fine. But please go ahead and if we find any problem, we'll let you know.
Okay. So Amazon Web Services provides on-demand computing resources and services in the cloud with the pay-as-you-go pricing. For example, you can run a server on AWS that you can log on to, configure, secure, and run just as you would a server that is sitting in front of you. For example, say you install your Linux operating system or Windows Server operating system on your laptop. Just we open that, whatever the tasks we want to do, we are doing the tasks, we are shutdowning the server. Like same scenario only through Amazon cloud environment, you can launch one Linux server or Windows server. So how you are configuring, how you are securing your server, you can do same things. Next, using AWS resources instead of your own is like purchasing electricity from a power company instead of running your own generator. See, we don't have, so for example, all the people we are taking the power for rent monthly. So how much units you utilized, that much of bill only come. But you are not managing your own generator to get the power. Like that, you are not managing your own infrastructure servers there. So you are taking rent of your servers or network or storage. So how much utilization you are using, that much of money only we are paying to the AWS. Next, it provides many of the same benefits. Capacity exactly matches your need. So how much resources you require, that much of resources capacity servers only you can launch. You pay only for what you use. So how much utilization, resources utilized? This much of CPU resources, this much of memory resources, storage resources, that much of money only you have to pay. Economies of scale results in lower costs. The service is provided by vendor experienced in running large scale networks. So who is supporting? For example, when you take servers, some support will come. When you buy the licensed operating systems, support will give by the vendors. The same experience you can provide, you can get from the AWS. So these are the cloud vendors: Verizon Cloud, Joint, Microsoft Azure, Rackspace, CenturyLink. Now Google Cloud is also there. So how do you access AWS? Through AWS Management Console, a web interface. We have to create an account there, and the AWS command line interface. You have to download the CLI for managing the AWS products. Command line tools we have to install, and was somebody they can develop their own application interfaces to log into AWS. Pricing: AWS can offer significant cost savings compared to the equivalent on-premises infrastructure. You can use the AWS Simply Monthly Calculator to estimate that it would cost to you the AWS. So, physical infrastructure, first of all, you have to invest money. So, the capacity of the servers, when you are working on real-time scenarios, maybe they can increase, they can decrease, but money we have to pay compulsory. But here, how much resources you are utilizing, that much of capacity resources only you can utilize. So if you are not reaching that capacity, automatically it will scale down. So you have to calculate. So every month, how much resources utilized, how much money we are paying. And here, Amazon is it to 750 hours per month of Linux, RHEL or SLES means SUSE Linux Enterprise Servers, T2 micro instance usage. See, 750 hours per month. So next one, 750 hours per month of Windows servers. Run one instance at a time or multiple instances simultaneously. So remember one point. So whenever you create a AWS account, so every day I am launching AWS accounts. So 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, 20 minutes we are working with instance. After that we are terminating. So like they will calculate. So 750 hours is free of cost per month. It is giving the 1 year account, free account. 7, 750 hours is the free of cost. So Amazon S3 means a storage. 5 GB of standard storage is free of cost. 20,000 get requests, 2,000 put requests. Get request means downloading. Put request means uploading the data, downloading the data. So 20,000 downloading requests are free of cost. 2,000 uploading requests are free of cost. So after that, they will calculate the data, how much data is transferring. We have to pay the money. Amazon has data centers in different areas of the world. For example, North America, Europe, and Asia. Correspondingly, AWS products are available to use in different regions. By placing resources in separate regions, you can design your website or application to be closer to specific customers or to meet legal or other requirements. Note that prices of AWS uses vary by region. So depending upon the region also the prices will change. Maybe North America different price, Asia Pacific, Mumbai different price. Some resources they can available in uh, North American region. Maybe some features are not available in Mumbai region, because whatever the new services or new products introduced, first they will introduce on the US. So when it is success, they can implement on other locations in the world. So a region can contain number of availability zones. So each region contains multiple distinct locations called availability zone. So remember, technically availability zone is nothing but a data center. Remember, Hyderabad data center, for example. So Hyderabad data center, for example, Hyderabad region, we have 3 data centers, for example, 3 availability zones. So that those 3 availability zones, they are not going to put in same place. In Hyderabad also, they will take some distance. So some one availability zone, I can keep it in Patancheru. Another availability zone in LB Nagar. Another availability zone in some different location, like that. So 15 to 20 kilometers radius, they will keep the availability zones. They will not keep all the 3 availability zones on the same location. So, but we have 3 data centers. Each availability zone is engineered to be isolated from failures in other availability zones. See, for example, Hyderabad, Patancheru data center is down. So, but my all servers, my storage is there, but the data center is down. So you can go for remaining availability zones because your data is going to be replicated to other availability zones. Okay, isolated from failures in other availability zones. So one is down, we can access the data from another availability zone. So by placing resources in separate availability zones, you can protect your website or app from the failure of a single location. If one location is failed, I can access my website, my application from other location. So I am not keeping my application on same data center. So I can replicate. So I can load balance, or I can make high availability and different availability zones. While practicing, we are going to see everything. So AWS resources can be tied to a region, to an availability zone. Not every region or availability zone supports every AWS resource. See, I already explained you. So maybe some services or resources are not available in the particular availability zones. When you view your resources, you will only see the resources tied to the region you have specified. This is because regions are isolated from each other and we don't replicate resources across the regions automatically. So automatically don't replicate. So we have to replicate manually, we have to set up. So whatever the resources you are viewing, that is the resources on the particular region where you selected. So you cannot see the resources on other regions. So if you want to see, you can change the region. So how to change the region, we are going to see. See, each region is completely independent. Each availability zone is isolated itself, but the availability zones in a region are connected through a low latency links. So this is, for example, take Mumbai region, Asia Pacific Mumbai region, 3 availability zones. This is, you can assume as a Asia Pacific uh, Singapore region. So 3 availability zones. So this is separate region, this is separate region. Within the regions, you have availability zones. So this is separate data center, separate data center, separate data center. But 3 data centers, they can communicate with low latency network links. Because if one data center is down, so all my data, I can keep on another availability zone. If it is down, I can access the data from this availability zone.
Srini, one question I have.
Yeah,
When
tell
we
me.
create the service, we have to define that in which availability zone I am going to put my data,
Yes,
or that
yes,
is in
we
C.
have, yeah, we have to select.
Okay, if I have selected one, so other data center will sync my data.
We have to configure that one.
Okay,
So first,
okay.
first while creating, so you have to select one availability zone. If you want to replicate your data, we have to configure the replication. Then it will replicate your data.
Uh,
So we are going
Shini,
to see practically everything.
Shini, so data will be replicated to availability zone only or the region also?
So within the region, we have multiple availability zones. So uh, I think you are asking the question different regions.
Yes.
Yeah, different regions also. You can take the snapshots of your data. You can copy. You can keep your data on different region also. Okay, practically we are going to show all the things. We can keep different region also, because in Asia Pacific, so AP, see Asia Pacific Mumbai region, enter all data centers down. What you have to do? You have the DR, disaster recovery, means you can keep your data on different region, so you can access. It is also possible.
So I have to select the service and pay whether I need data application on the within the availability zone or within the region, right?
Region, yeah, yes. Okay, this is AWS instruction architecture, EC2 auto scaling. So already we discussed this one. Now, so simply I am going to launch Linux instance, Windows instances. How to access? Go to AWS Management Console. So here give the username. So click on services, click on EC2 instance. Go to running instances. Launch instance. See here, Amazon Linux free tier eligible, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8 free tier eligible, SUSE Linux Enterprise Server free tier eligible. See here, you can check the softwares also predefined. Apache, MySQL Server, PHP and Ruby available in this server. Ubuntu Server, Microsoft Windows Server 2019 data center version free tier. Microsoft Windows Server 2019 base with containers, it is also free tier. See, except free tiers, if you launch any instance, so chargeable. So immediately they are going to be charged. So free tier eligible only you have to select. So deep learning AMI, Microsoft Server SQL Server 2016, whatever it may be. So like this, so I am selecting the first one, Amazon Linux. So you can select and launch any free tier eligible. So T2.micro type of the server, see here. T2 instances provide a baseline level of CPU performance with the ability to burst above the baseline. See, minimum capacity, vCPUs 1 vCPU, 1 GB memory. This is allowed. Depending upon the requirement, so T2 dot medium, 2 vCPUs, 4 GB memory. T2 dot large, X large, 4 vCPUs, 16 GB of memory. So these things theoretically I will explain next class. All the current generation, all generations. So instance family C, T2, T3, T3A, A1, A4. So which purpose we are going to use the types of instances I am going to discuss. So for example, for just now we launching. So we are going to discuss theoretical part of everything EC2 instances. So here instance storage EBS, elastic block store only. So these also we are going to discuss theoretical part. So click on configure instance details. Now see number of instances. How many instances you are going to launch? One instance only. Purchase option. We are not using purchase option. Later I will explain you. Already I told you on demand instances, reserved instances, spot instances. So check the box, request spot instances. Availability zone AP South 1A, AP South 1B, $0.0037 current price they are offering, spot instance. So what is that spot instances? We are going to discuss theoretical part. Now, which network? By default, Amazon people will provide the default VPC. Default VPC means default virtual private cloud. So, afterwards, we are going to set up our own VPC. So, initial stage, we are going to use the default VPC only. Subnets, which subnets you are going to use? No preference subnet. So, if you want to select C subnet, default subnets only. AP South 1A, that is one data center. AP South 1B, 1C. These are 3 data centers we have. So you can select any one of them. If you want to select, you can select. Otherwise, you can make it default. No preference. Automatically, it launch one instance on the particular subnet. Auto assign public IP is enabled. Means whenever you want to log into your instance, so you need some IP address. So that is they are going to be provided. So leave it all defaults. These I will explain our next class, everything. So here make it defaults, add storage. See, by default, when you launch the instance, it will provide some storage. For example, if you buy a laptop or desktop, you have a hard disk. Without a hard disk, no use of your laptop and desktop. That is nothing but a internal storage. So while I am launching instance, they will provide a default storage, that is nothing but a root volume, means OS volume. So for Linux instance 8 GB, they are going to assign, give the space, and volume type general purpose SSD, solid state drives, IOPS, input output operations per second. So here 100 IOPS by 3000. 3000 is the burst size maximum. So next, so delete and termination, these explain. I will give entry point of view, entry point of view and exam point of view tips I will explain. So first, initially just we are launching. Theoretically, again we are going to discuss about all the options. Next, add tags. So here if you want to add the tag, you can add name, RH instance, Red Hat or Linux instance, whatever it may be, you can write one name, Linux instance. Configure security group. So SSH. So how do you log into your Linux servers real-time scenarios? You can log into your Linux servers through SSH protocol. So SSH type of protocol SSH, it will use the TCP protocol, port is 22. So source from any network you can log in. Whatever your network, we are logging. So in future, we are going to discuss about security groups. What are the different types of security groups? Add the rules. So here number of security groups are there. So depending upon our requirement, we can add. But now SSH is enough. Review and launch. Click on launch. So choose an existing key pair. So this key pairs also next class I will discuss how to create the new key pairs, how to convert the PEM file to PPK file, what is PEM file, what is PPK file. But now I am selecting the existing key pair. Select key pair. I acknowledge that. Okay, key pair. Click on launch instance. Click on view instances. So my Linux instance is ready to use. Now I want to launch Windows Server. So again, click on launch instance. Now select Windows Server, Microsoft Windows Server, free tier 2016 version I am selecting. Click on select. See, this is Windows Server instance. Free tier eligible. Configure instance details. Same, leave it defaults. Add storage. See, root volume type, size 30 GB it is given for Windows Server. For Linux 8 GB. Add tags, add tag name, Win Server, configure security group. So how to log into our Windows Server through remotely? We need remote desktop connection. So RDP protocol, remote desktop protocol. So log in Linux servers remotely, you need SSH. Log in Windows Server remotely, you need RDP. Review and launch. Click on launch. Select key pair. Win DS key. Acknowledgement, this one. So click on launch instance. View instances. See, Linux instance running. Windows Server is going to be run. So select Linux instance now. I want to log into Linux instance. Select Linux instance. So here you can check IPv4 public IP. So 35.154.45.26. Copy this one. Copy this IP address. Open your Windows laptop system. Open Putty software. Paste the IP address. Expand SSH option here. Select authentication. Click on browse. While launching, I selected one key pair. S3 Linux. Select that one. Click on open. So S authentication. So default user account in Linux is EC2-user. That is the default user account in Linux instances, EC2-user. Log into EC2-user. So we logged into our Linux server, sudo space su root login. Then you can check host name of the system, IP address of the system. So whatever you want to configure, you can do the Linux administration task. Check the user's information, etc passwd file, where the users are there. So EC2-user is created already. Just now we logged in. Like this, whatever the administration tasks you can do. So top command. So to see the Linux server CPU utilizations, memory utilizations, whatever Linux server, what we are giving administration tasks, everything we can do here. So this is Linux server. Now launching the Windows Server instance. Now go to Windows. So click on connect. See here, a slight difference is there. So Linux instance, just we copied public IP. We went for putty, we logged in. Here, click on connect because you need to download the remote desktop file. Click on connect. So download remote desktop file. Click download the file. Now get password. You need password to log in. Get password. Choose file. So I selected WinDS key. So select the key. Decrypt password. So this is your password. So copy this password. Close. Now, whatever the remote desktop file you downloaded, click on that file. So click on connect. So paste the password here, whatever the password you get. Yes, now see, you are launching your Windows server. Now, whatever the administration task do by the Windows Windows administrators, they can do the Windows Server administration task. like server manager, you can configure Active Directory domain services, Active Directory users and computers. So Hyper-V configurations. So what are the Windows server related topics? See, within 5 to 10 minutes, we launched one Linux server, you launched one Windows server. So in practically, if you are in a physical environment, it will take more time. You have to buy the PC, you have to take the software, you have to install the Linux, you have to provide the steps, partitions. So Windows also, you can take Windows CD or DVD, we have to put into the DVD drive. The installation process you have to do. Now you can see host name, instance ID, public IP address, private IP address, instance size 22.micro, availability zone AP South 1A, architecture AMD 64, memory is 1 GB. So this is like Windows servers and Linux servers. Immediately when you want to require, you can launch.
Shini, as you have mentioned the software installation in these servers, how we
Yeah.
can do that? Like the normal PC we have to go to Google and download and install. This is about the normal software. And what about the paid software? How we can purchase and everything that
So we
everything okay.
have to download from the Google. Then you have to install that softwares. I think pre-defined software instance is already available. So, or else if you want to use your own softwares, you have to download into, for example, you can keep your FTP site, whatever it may be. You can have your own site. You can keep the software there. So from this server, you can log into that particular site. You can download into the local system, local instance.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. So now how to terminate the instances? Now I am closing this one. Okay, session is closing. See, remember, don't stop the instance, you must terminate. Stop the instance means the time will calculate. 750 hours is free of cost. So they will calculate the time. So select the instance, click on actions, click on instance state. So stop, reboot, terminate. So somebody they will stop. Stop means, so the instance is state is you shut down the system, but the time will calculate. Terminate, completely demolish that one. Again, tomorrow while practicing, I can launch. Select Linux instance, actions, instantate, terminate. So tomorrow, so generally the classes are Monday to Friday only, but tomorrow, only tomorrow, Saturday, I am taking the class. So everybody will come. Generally, our classes are Monday to Friday only, but tomorrow, will you come? I will take the class. Otherwise, the class is on Monday, as your wish.
I'm okay with tomorrow. Let's.
Okay, okay, tomorrow, same time. So tomorrow what I will do, I will explain you about some virtualization technology also, because how is these are coming, everybody will confuse. So I launched Linux instance, 8 GB storage game, Windows instance, 30 GB storage game, how they are coming. So tomorrow I will explain about this infrastructure, which one, uh, virtualization infrastructure I will explain, then you can easily understand. Okay. So without a virtualization, there is no cloud. So that virtualization, if you understand somewhat theoretically, so then you while you are working on cloud environment, you can easily guess this uh, storage will come from this place, these resources are come from this place. Tomorrow I will explain about this structure. Then we are going to discuss about the types of instances and storage different regions, how to launch the instances, we are going to see tomorrow's class. Okay, so thank you all. Tomorrow we'll meet.
Okay.
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 Okay, thank you all. Tomorrow we'll meet.